Hello ladies, this is Frances Worth. I had volunteered to do a YouTube presentation of our blocks of the month, and this is my first attempt. This is February's block, hence the red and pink white colors. I'm doing, my block of the month is going to signify a holiday within that month or a color scheme for that month. So this is Cross and Crown. It's February's block. It will be handed in our March business meeting. And the requirements are 3 cuts of each color, and those measurements are a on color 1 we've got a 3 3/4 by 7 1/2 inch strip here, a 2 1/2 inch square there, a 5 7/8 by 11 3/4 strip. On color 2 we have a 2 1/2 by 22 inch strip, a 3 by 12 inch strip, and a 3 3/4 by 7 1/2 inch strip. First instruction requires us to take our color 1 and our color 2, our 3 1/4 by 7 1/2 inch strip, and to put those together, which we will do. And then we are going to cut them into 3 3/4 inch blocks. Okay, so we've got 3 3/4 inch blocks. Just like so. Slightly move that over. Check our other square that it is 3 3/4. And it is. Now what we're going to do is we are going to cut on the diagonal. Very carefully. I just messed up the other square. Go ahead and do this one. And our second square. Great. And now we've got our tiny triangles. Excellent. The next cut we're going to do is we are going to move our strips out of the way. We're going to take our 5 7/8 by 11 3/4 strip, and we're going to cut it into a 5 7/8 squares on each side. Excellent. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take these that we had just cut. I'm going to stack those together very carefully. Stack those together. And we're going to cut those on the diagonal. Excellent. So now we have those pieces cut lay those over here with our tiny triangles. Now what we're going to do is we're taking our 2.5 by 22 inch strip here, and we're going to cut those into 2.5 by 5.5 inch rectangles. So 2.5 by 5.5 inch triangles. And we should get 4 pieces. There's one. Two. Three, and our final piece should measure out to 5.5 by 2.5. Excellent. So now we have those pieces. We'll place those over here. Wonderful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our 3 inch by 12 inch strip and cut it into 3 squares, 3-inch squares. And we should get 4 of these. 1, 2. I've learned the hard way that the most important thing to do is to change your blade when you're starting a new project on your rotary cutter. So important, so you don't get those little snagged lines. Check our last piece. It should be 3. Excellent. Great. And that is all of our cut pieces. So we can take all of these over to the sewing machine and we can start to assemble them. Okay, we're back here at the sewing table. We need to take these blocks here and we need to make 4 blocks like so. So we need to have the dark side 4 with the dark side on the right. I don't know why I'm not getting these together here. There we go. And 4 with them on the left. Did I lose a piece somewhere? No. So we're going to set this up here. I'm going to take this with the light side on the left now. And we are going to sew those together just like so. So take them and match our pieces very carefully. And it's a 1/4 inch scant seam. I'm going to take this, get right up there, and be very careful. I don't know if you can see that, but you all know better than I how careful you need to be. It appears to me that as we sew, it shifts here, so we've just got to be careful. I'm just going to put those aside and I'm going to continue to sew all of them, and then I will press them to the dark side. I'll do one more. And I'll just go ahead and continue the rest of these, and then once I'm ready to press them, I'll get back with you. Alright, I'm back now. I'm going to go ahead and take my squares. I've completed them all, and I'm going to go ahead and iron them all to the dark fabric, or as my children like to say, to the dark side. Gently do this because stretching is not a good thing. Almost unavoidable though. So I tend to like to do it on the front side better. Seems to work out a little bit better for me on this fabric. Okay. Excuse me. Find that doing the triangles and ironing them is very tricky, because you do really need to make sure that you get right up to the seam. Yesterday I was doing some quilt blocks and I didn't do that, and I was wondering why they didn't measure out correctly, and that was the reason why. So I try to be much more careful now. And we've got one more. Iron that. Okay, our next plan of attack here is, I like to organize this all here, put them back in groups, and what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our squares, which a plain square here, and we are going to let me show you better on here. We're going to take our square and we are going to match up this like so, and the dark sections like so. And so we're going to sew a seam here and a seam here, and that's going to be 1/2 piece of our square. So I'm going to measure these up, match these up. Like so. And as I go along on this, now I'm going to start ironing it right as I go along, because it gets a little bit more difficult when you start piecing them together to do them afterwards. Make sure I've got that. I have to say, ladies, I commend you on your abilities to be able to piece these small little blocks together. It's quite difficult. And now we're going to take this piece and we're going to match that up here and sew that as well. Excellent. Okay. Get a little finger press first. Okay. Now, once we've done that, we're going to take one of our large triangles here, and we are going to sew that there. Look how pretty that's going to be. I just love the color red. It's like such a fantastic color. If I could do my whole house in red, I would, but I think that sends the wrong signal. If you know what I mean. But I don't know, maybe somebody's house all in red, it probably looks beautiful. Alright, so we're going to guide this under the machine, again being very careful not to stretch the fabric as we do so, because it's probably my 6th attempt of doing a video, and I have learned a lot in continuously making these blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a little finger press here. Such a neat little trick. Helps so much. I'm going to go ahead and iron that. Okay, and that's one of our blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and create the rest of these. And let you guys do that as well, and or like I said, most of you probably have already done this, but I'm going to go ahead and finish the other 4, and then I will get back with the next procedure. Okay, I've finished all my blocks, and they look pretty spectacular, I think, and I am going to go ahead and double check. I'm going to measure these again. They should be exactly square at 5.5 inch blocks. This one is great. Let's do this one. That one is a little slightly off down there, but I don't think it's going to be a big problem. I mean, it's a hair. Measure this one again, and 5.5, 5.5, right there. Got little pieces here, so I'm going to trim this. Here, trim this here. Great. That's perfect now. And this one, 5.5 by 5.5. Just wonderful. Okay. So now that I've verified that I've got my square pieces in there, I'm going to show you how this is going to go together. Get my iron out of the way, my cord. Okay. So again, it's going to be like this. And like this, and we're going to take, let's see over here, take our other remaining pieces, and this is going to go in the middle here, and this in the middle here, this here, and the other piece of the cross there, and then our middle piece here. Now, how we're going to put that together is we're going to do our top row first. So here's our top row. Separate these out. So I'm going to go ahead and put these right sides together and put a seam in there. And then I'm going to flip this over onto these 2 sewn pieces and put that together. I'm going to continue on with the middle row, and sew those pieces at this seam here together, and then the third row I'm going to sew those together, and then I'm going to sew the bottom to the middle, and then that full piece to the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you my finished block when I'm completed. Okay, so now I've got my pieces and my rows completed, and now I'm going to sew them together. I'll put the right sides here. Try to match up those seams as best as you can on both sides, and then as soon as I'm done doing that, I'll get back with you. Okay, ladies, we have come to the end of our instruction video, and this is the finished product. I think it turned out really nice. I'm very pleased with it, and I've used my ruler. I've remeasured it, and it is a perfect 12.5 by 12.5, so it's ready, and I'll put it in my box and move on to the next block of the month, which is going to be March's block of the month, which is Card Trick. I'm going to be using green fabric, of course, because it's March's block, and I'm going to start that video probably now, and I hope that one will help you all. I know that we haven't even really advertised that, so that one will be out there on YouTube for you to use and review before you started your card trick block of the month for March. Thank you so much.